Welcome back to The Takeout. California Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom's on a book tour. He's got a memoir. And during a conversation in Atlanta, he said something that some conservative critics have described as racist. He was with the mayor of Atlanta, Dickens. Watch this for yourself.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. You know, I'm a 960 SAT guy. and I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940.
Columnist for the Free Press and CBS News contributor Coleman Hughes joins me now. His specialties, race, public policy, and applied ethics. Coleman, I'm very glad to have you on the program. Give me your sense of what my audience just saw and what you saw.
So when you look at it out of context, I admit it does look bad. But when you actually understand the context, you realize this is something Gavin Newsom has said before. He said it in front of a white interviewer where there was presumably no black people in the room. It's one of his rehearsed political talking points. And what he's trying to do is tell you, first of all, that he has dyslexia, that he's someone, though, he's been very successful. He's one of the many people that actually struggles to read quickly. He's not saying that black people are dumb, or he's not really trying to say anything about race in general. What he's saying is he's trying to relate to the median American by saying, I got an average, even a slightly below average SAT score. And many people on the right are doing what has traditionally been a strategy of the left, which is to pull a quote out of context and make it sound racist in order to smear a political opponent.
And to your point, Coleman, that is to say, Gavin Newsom told my colleague, Robert Costa, who was just on the set with me, the very thing you mentioned, that he's dyslexic, that he grew up with that and still suffers from that learning disability. He can't read a prepared speech, meaning remarks in front of him. He has to sort of go with what's in his head and what's in the moment. And lots of people who are trying to enter the national political stage try to make themselves more approachable, more authentic, more reachable. Is that, from your vantage point, what he was trying to accomplish?
It's clearly what he was trying to accomplish. He's trying to pass the beer test here. And this problem of having dyslexia but being a relatively smart person is actually very common. I've had two different people on my podcast alone, Ezra Klein and Scott Barry Kaufman, one of whom went on to teach at an Ivy League school. And I think both of them were placed in special ed as kids for having various learning disabilities. So this is a common thing. You can see the crowd reacted with recognition. And it's something he's rehearsing. It's something he's testing out, and it looks like it's resonating with audiences. Once again, I think this is just partisan point scoring. I don't think it's going to land. I think people understand in the age of X that these malicious quotes taken out of context are just being used for partisan point scoring and don't actually reflect any deep point made about the candidate.
Coleman, do you think this is symptomatic of a kind of outrage industrial complex on social media?
Oh, absolutely. We've been living it since, roughly 2014, when everyone and their mom started being on Facebook and primarily digesting their news online. The ability to just circulate a clip out of context we've seen it over and over and over again. And the deep irony here is that it's usually Democrats doing this to Republicans. I remember during Trump's first term, Trump called Maxine Waters low IQ. Now, this, again, out of context, it looks like a white guy calling a black woman low IQ. Is he invoking racial stereotypes and racial tropes? But then you widen the context, you realize Trump has called dozens and dozens of white people low IQ. It's his favorite insult, right? So there's no reason to believe there was anything racial behind it. And here now, Republicans are now doing the exact same thing to Gavin Newsom and becoming hypocrites in the process.
So when the White House, meaning President Trump, reposted a video with the last 2 seconds, including ape images generated by artificial intelligence of Michelle Obama and former President Barack Obama, Tim Scott, Republican senator from South Carolina, African-American, called out the White House. But on this, he also did as well, and I want to read it to you. Black Americans, he's referring to Gavin Newsom, aren't your low bar. We've built empires, created movements, outworked, out-hustled, outsmarted people like you. Stop using your mediocre academics as a way to patronize communities. It's ridiculous. Evaluate that.
So the bigotry of low expectations is a real thing, and it is a real problem on the left, but this is not it. This was Gavin Newsom talking about his own dyslexia. Bigotry of low expectations is when you have one bar for white people and Asians and other ethnic groups, and you have a lower bar for Black people, and you don't actually expect Black people to meet that bar, right? And it's a big problem because it's empathy gone wrong. It's empathy gone too far to the point where it hurts the very communities that you're trying to help. This is not an example of that. This is just Gavin Newsom being taken out of context, trying to talk about his own personal struggle and relate to the entire electorate of all races.
And very quickly, Coleman, you are not the kind of person who would instantaneously or snap in a knee-jerk way to defend Gavin Newsom, I gather.
It's the very first time I've defended Gavin Newsom in my entire life.
That's the answer I thought might be forthcoming. Coleman, I appreciate the time very much. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.